Okay, hi guys, and welcome to another video. I hope you enjoyed the unique intro at the beginning of today's video. Today, I decided to switch things up a notch and get creative with my new camera and lenses. Typically, I would start with a straightforward monologue to introduce the main points of the video. However, today I wanted to explore the creative possibilities before even planning the talking points. Now, all my videos begins with research. So one of the main challenges in the production of today's intro was figuring out how to visually represent my research process in an engaging way. I aimed to capture this from both an observer's perspective and my own point of view. Now, thanks to a variety of lenses at my disposal, I could experiment with different shot styles to convey the desired effect. Creating videos like this can be daunting if you are not passionate about it, but for those who love this craft, each new challenge is an opportunity to learn and grow. On that note, I want to extend a special thank you to a generous benefactor of this channel who prefers to remain anonymous. Through his support, not in cash, but providing new camera gear and lenses, he has significantly boosted my ability to produce higher quality content. Thank you, Mr. X, for your incredible generosity. I am deeply grateful for your support and thrilled to learn that my content has contributed to your journey of collecting kerises. Now, for those of you who are interested to know the type of gear that I use for my video production, do check out the links in the show notes description. The links are affiliate links, and if you do make any purchases from my links, I will receive a small percentage in commissions that will go towards maintaining this channel. Hey, if we are meeting for the first time, my name is Keris Johari, better known as Pak Jofe, the kris collector from Singapore, your personal guide to the exciting world of the kris and its collecting culture. If you are a fan of history, art, and mythology embodied into these traditional daggers that we natives of the Malay world refer to as the kris, be sure to subscribe and join our community right here on Kris Collector YouTube channel. In the fascinating world of the kris, magic and mysticism are often intertwined, sparking passionate debates among collectors. On one side, we have the esoteric collectors. These individuals are deeply invested in the mystical properties they believe are inherent in kerises and other related tosan ajis from antiquity. And on the opposite side stand the exoteric collectors, who value these artifacts for their historical significance and artistic craftsmanship. Simply put, some collectors cherish the intangible qualities of a kris, while others appreciate its tangible, measurable attributes. Now, in my view, neither perspective is right or wrong. Every collector's journey is personal, and the diversity in approaches only adds color and depth to this hobby. Personally, I remain open to the supernatural stories linked to kerises shared by other collectors. Whether these tales are true or perhaps exaggerated, only the divine knows for sure. It is not my place to judge experiences I have not personally witnessed. Now, from my experiential worldview, I do not deny the existence of the supernatural. However, I choose not to ascribe every unexplained phenomenon to paranormal forces. My late mentor, the esteemed Muhammad Din Muhammad, who was also a collector of kris and other mythological curios, once said, "There is no such thing as the mystical or the paranormal. There is only the science of realities. Oftentimes, those who cannot grasp the complexities of nature label the unexplained as paranormal." Now, his words have greatly influenced my approach to collecting. After nearly 30 years, I have observed that antique kerises often seem to embody the essence of their previous custodians or the environment they reside in. While this might sound like magical thinking, there is a scientific basis to it. The adage, "your vibes attract your tribe," holds true here. Everything is composed of matter. which consists of atoms, and atoms are made up of energy. The laws of physics dictates that energy cannot be created or destroyed, only transformed through vibrations. How do we do that then? This is what we will be exploring today. Have you ever heard eerie and mysterious stories about the kris? Often these tales unfold in a somewhat similar fashion. Imagine someone who stumbles upon a kris at a flea market, thinking he's struck a great deal. He doesn't think twice and brings it straight home. At first, he is thrilled, eager to show off his find to his family. Caught up in the excitement, he decides to revive an old practice passed down through generations. He takes the kris to bed with him, hoping it might inspire good dreams. But the night doesn't go as planned. Instead of a peaceful sleep, he finds himself restless, tossing and turning, gripped by an inexplicable unease. When sleep finally comes, it brings no relief, only a series of vivid, terrifying nightmares. He wakes up abruptly, heart racing, and immediately his eyes fall on the kris beside the bed. A sudden, intense discomfort washes over him as he looks at it. Now, does this story sound familiar? From this point forward, in today's video, we'll delve into what happens next. This is where we explore the myth of the Keris Tindih. Keris Tindih, when translated in context to English, can be loosely understood as a grounding kris. Think of it in terms of electricity. In order to prevent accidental electrocution, a grounding circuit is usually built into the electrical system. Likewise, with the concept of the Keris Tindih, it is believed that a good Keris Tindih possesses properties that can ground and neutralize negative energies and influences associated with other krises in one's collection. Collectors who own a kris that they believe to possess negative vibes and influences, most often than not, will feel reluctant to get rid of it. Instead, they turn to a remedy practiced by previous generations of collectors, the Keris Tindih. By owning this type of kris, from the accounts of many collectors whom I have met and know personally, adamantly believe that they feel safer and shielded from the negative influences of such krises, which possesses inherent negative vibes in their collection. By now, probably you are already asking, what constitutes as a Keris Tindih? Typically, a Keris Tindih is an old and venerable blade. Most commonly, these krises are in the stylistic form of Jalak Budo, Betok, Semar, Semar Tinandu, and Semar Betak. But it is important to note that the form or bangunan is not the only criterion for a kris to be considered worthy as a Keris Tindih. Even a kris in the stylistic form of the Tilam Upe, if it is genuinely old and made from quality materials, can serve this purpose just as well. The key requirement here is that the kris types mentioned must be genuinely old and produced during the Hindu-Buddhist era, where such krises were believed to be produced by learned religious Brahmins, whereby the positive affirmations by way of mantras, sutras, and religious chants somehow imbued such kris with very positive energies. Scientifically, I would say that the positive chants altered the vibrational frequency of the material, and since then, its positive vibes have been locked into place throughout time. Hence, its positive vibrations offer an intangible benefit of displacing any negative vibration stored in any objects kept within its proximity. In terms of presentation fittings, a Keris Tindih is almost always fitted into a Sandang Walikat Sampir style. Occasionally, you might find them in Gayaman style, but never in Ladrang or Branga styles. The Keris Tindih is typically placed on the highest shelf, symbolizing its importance and protective role in a collection of krises. So, after sharing about the Keris Tindih, you might be wondering next if I own one in my collection. Short answer, yes. I do own a Keris Tindih, and this one came into my collection sometime in 2017, some 20 years later after I first started collecting. Here is my personal Keris Tindih, which I chanced upon through a friend whom happened to be clearing some flea market finds. Since he lacked the experience with such items, he decided to put it up for sale to me. Now, this piece is genuinely old, but had some additional modifications done by previous custodians, it would seem. This is a Keris Tindih in the style of the Batuk form. What makes it even more unique is this part here. Remnants of what possibly could be a singa barung carved onto the blade. Rarely found on batuks, and I suspect this may have been dug up as it shows signs of surface deterioration aligned with after being buried in the ground for a long time. What makes this piece unique is the addition of this silver cabochon here. I had it tested and discovered that it is pure 999 silver. Next on this part here are 3 pegs of kuningan. Material testing proves that it is not ordinary brass. It's some alloy with traces of gold on it. For the price I paid for this one is definitely a keeper. The fittings, as per mentioned earlier, is in the style of the sandang walikat form. I would say that the fittings is original, but has since been modified for a proper fit. Looking at its bangunan, the ekor cecak here should be longer, and this is evident as shown in this part of the sampir here. Observe the patch marks. It is suggestive that at some point the ekor cecak was this long. Now, have I experienced anything odd since this Keris Tindih came into my collection? In all honesty, none. In my faith as a Muslim, it is believed that when one's iman, which is faith, is unwavering and free of shirk, one will not be easily affected by the negative influences from the unseen. Islam is the religion of Tawhid. The only source capable of good or harm is only from one, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He wills the good and the bad. No man-made object is equal to his divine grace. Perhaps this is the reason why I do not experience any paranormal phenomenon throughout my time with the Keris. Hey, if you have learned something new from today's video, do have a care and remember to subscribe, like and share if you would. Your support will help this video reach out to other Keris enthusiasts out there and will allow them to discover and explore deeper into the facets of Keris collecting in upcoming videos. Do share your thoughts and questions in the comments below, and let's weave the future of Keris collecting together. Another method that is often spoken about amongst senior collectors in the usage of the Keris Tindih is simply to just put the Keris on top of the Keris suspected of possessing negative influences and leave it for a few nights. Interestingly, they follow the odd-numbered counts, just like that of a Keris: 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and so on. Most times, from what has been shared with me, 7 nights is more than enough to render any Keris with negative vibes neutralize. How this is done is the Keris that is believed to possess negative vibes is laid out on a brass tray. It is then covered with a cloth. Usually a black cloth is preferred, but to my knowledge, there is no limitation to the color of the covering cloth. Logically, I would deduce that this is to protect both Kerises from damage when it is laid out on top of each other. The Keris Tindih is then laid on top of it like so. As the name suggests, this is what Tindih means in the Malay language: to lay on top of another. This is then recovered after a few nights, and many collectors who have practiced this method swears by its effectiveness at neutralizing a Keris with negative vibes. Now, from a scientific viewpoint, the molecular vibrations from the Keris Tindih may have somewhat modified the frequency of the Keris with negative vibes and rendered its effect neutralized. So, what is your paranormal experience with kerises so far? Do you practice this method mentioned here? Do share your experiences in the comments below. If you missed my previous video on matching your traditional dressing with an appropriate kris type, do watch that video right here. Until my next video, stay curious, start exploring, and keep the legacy of the kris alive.